welcome to another episode of Baby Bounce Back. We are into week 30 of fitness training after having my fourth child. I have decided to put all of my disclaimers in the description box so I don't have to keep saying them all the time. Here we have baby boy. He is 8 months old and standing. He's been standing since he started crawling. He crawled over to something and stood up, and I said, "What are you doing?" I even put socks on him thinking it would slow him down, but it didn't. Eventually, I just had to come to terms with the fact that he's going to be an early walker. Once I recognized that his hand-eye coordination was developing fine, I stopped worrying about it. Even with all the happy videos I posted this boy, he does have his fussy moments. In fact, I think last week might have been his fussiest week of his entire life. He was no longer sleeping through the night. He was getting up 2 or 3 times. I finally figured out that he was just desperately hungry. And it was all my fault. Once he turned 6 months, I started supplementing his diet with smashed foods. And last week we ran out of all of his normal stuff, and I thought he'd be okay. But boy, was I wrong. Don't worry, I found him something to eat. I mashed him up some bananas and oatmeal.
Yeah. See, I see you.
Don't forget to warm up. I also did the strength protocol of crossover symmetry, but I'm trying to break away from all the monotonous videos. I'll probably still plug some in here and there, but I'm moving towards more of a vlog experience. All my struggles, my thoughts, my feelings, my pain, and my victories, and the good things that come out of my movement practice. For example, in these dumbbell thrusters, I started off real slow to try and drive my knees out to make room for my hips at the bottom. It's been difficult to keep my technique because my center of gravity has shifted all over. In the last 12 months, I've gained 50 pounds and lost 40. Now that I have both my movement and my nutrition working together, I only have 10 pounds left of baby weight. I thought it'd be fun to show you some clips of my walk around the village today. Imagine that covered in snow. My neighbor is a farmer. They are not mine. I still want to be polite to all my neighbors.
Good morning. How are you? Yeah.
I wouldn't mind owning a cow someday, maybe. I think of farming as the ideal life, but I know it's a lot of hard work. Who knows? Maybe when my babies are all grown and gone, I can retire and become a farmer. And then all my animals will be my babies, and I can take care of them into my old age. Keep dreaming, city slicker. Retire and become a farmer. It's laughable. But until then, I have my babies to take care of.
Money. Are you biting my knee? Are you trying to bite me?
You see him trying to teeth on my knee? He's a biter. Gotta watch those teeth. I learned that last week. He is much happier this week now that I've remembered to put his baby food on the grocery list. His normal happy self, and he is sleeping through the night again. Hallelujah. Biting wasn't really a big issue until last week when he was desperately hungry, but now that that's fixed, we're all better. I'm not surprised that he's a biter. I mean, his father and his siblings have been chewing on him since he was born. And this is where we break for a baby glom. Speaking of chewing on faces.
Okay.
Gotta love those baby kisses, even when he's trying to teeth on my face. I've got my foot hanging over the edge of my platform there so I can keep track of it. It's a 2-inch drop or so. I really should angle my camera better so I'm either on the white floor or the platform. Splitting it down the middle like this is not the safest thing. I am wearing my pink athletic stretchy shirt today to help you guys see how much I still have left to lose. I thought it'd be fun to document so we can look back and say, wow, it's not always easy to look the truth in the face. I feel a lot slimmer than I look. And I can take those good feelings and put them in a positive spiral upwards as I reaffirm all my nutrition goals this week. Because last week, I didn't just fall off the wagon, I dove head first off the wagon. Which means I will have some unhealthy cravings to fight off this week. So the goal is every time I go into the kitchen, if I'm feeling munchy, I will have half a glass of water and 5 baby carrots first, before I try to eat or look for anything else. Carrots are honestly pretty sweet all on their own. What I have come to realize from my own experience is that the less sugar I consume, the more satisfying regular food is. Things like salad and carrots and fruits and nuts are a lot more satisfying when I'm not addicted to sugar. Because that's what it is. You start eating sugar and then you start eating more and more of it. And then when you're hungry and looking for food, it's not that you're hungry, it's that you're looking for a sugar fix. So of course the salad isn't satisfying. It's because you're not looking for nutrition, you're looking for those sweets. Always eating and yet never nourished. That's what makes addiction so dangerous. You're always craving for that which will never satisfy you. The good news is all of our power is in the eternal now. It's in this moment. And in this moment, I can make the decision to choose nourishment over my addictions. And I'm specifically talking about my sugar addiction. I have one. I love sugar. I always have. But I can choose to love my body more than I love sugar. I just realized I'm using the wrong band. This exercise is supposed to use a higher resistance, and I'm using the low resistant band. Oops. I'll get it right next time, guys. When you hear me say, take care of yourself and be good to each other, I'm making an all call to choose nourishment. Choose to nourish yourself as opposed to anything else. And I know that's easier said than done because it's choosing to live as if you're going to reach 150 years old. Will your 150-year-old self look back and thank you for what you're putting in your body today? Here, baby boy is finally teething on an actual teether. It's in the shape of a banana. It's a little baby toy. So you can put it back on the particular tooth that's bothering him the most. There you go, kiddo. I partied hard last week. I had company, we had birthdays. Talk about lessons from a hypocrite. I ate so much cake that I caught a cold. Because that's what happens when you eat sugar. You cause inflammation in your body and you're more susceptible to illness. I suppose it's possible to have cake and eat it too, but you'd have to limit yourself to only one slice. As you see, I have put the glockenspiel on the floor. When it was up high, he was prone to tipping it over, so it's better where it is now. Getting back to sugar talk though, I'm sharing this because I'm human. If you fall off the wagon or even dive off the wagon, you can still climb back on. I'm doing much better with my food choices this week. Any weight that I gained back eating all that cake last week is already dropped off again. We are going to watch these last 10 pounds melt right off my body. And I can't really call it baby weight because all the baby weight's pretty much gone. What's left is my sugar belly. Other people have a beer belly. I have a sugar belly. And I can't really blame my baby for my bad food choices. But that's what happens, isn't it? You get pregnant and then use that as an excuse to make poor food choices. And really, when we get pregnant, we should be using that as our excuse to make better food choices on behalf of our baby. But there really is some primal, emotional, hormonal relationship with food once you're expecting. I don't know all of it. I don't understand it, but I've felt it for sure. But this idea of excuses and how you utilize them in your life goes back to my spinal fracture. My chiropractor told me that most of his patients that receive this kind of spinal fracture take that as an opportunity or an excuse to start taking care of themselves for whatever reason. Until they broke their back, they didn't. My hope for you, and for all of my children as well, is that you don't have to break your back to start taking care of yourself. So my question to you is, how do you utilize your own excuses? When life throws a curveball at you, drastic change, do you use that as an excuse to shut down? Or will you see it as an excuse to start up? Tropophobia is the fear of moving or making changes in your life. I think the best wish I could make for each of us to develop the habit of making positive changes in our lives so that we get used to change. Because whether you like it or not, change will happen. Whether it's from your daily habits of making small incremental steps towards improving your life, or whether it's from your daily habits of atrophy and decay that lead you to bonk your noggin in a household accident like I did, the one guarantee in life is that things will change. Time does pass, and ultimately there will always be consequences. So take care of yourself and be good to each other.
Remember, keep moving.